My boss sent me a photo of his wife in lingerie, and it wasn't an accident. The worst part is that it wasn't just any photo, it was the kind that stays in your head longer than it should. And in that moment, I realized I had two options: pretend it never happened, or fall into a situation that could cost me my job, my reputation, and my peace of mind. I've worked at the same company for years. It wasn't luck. It was long hours learning the hard way and slowly climbing step by step. I had finally reached something stable, a good salary, benefits, a decent position, the kind that's hard to find. Over time, my boss stopped being just the boss and became someone I considered close. After my divorce, one of those divorces that leaves the house silent and your mind loud, he was almost too supportive. He started inviting me out for drinks to distract me, and his wife was always there. At first, I saw it as a kind gesture. So you don't feel alone. She was kind, elegant, the type of woman who looks confident in herself. And yes, very attractive. But I never crossed that line in my head, because there are unspoken rules. And one of them is, you don't mess with your boss's family. Things started getting strange on social media. We went from sending each other dumb reels to him sending me videos of models saying things like, "Damn, look at that. This is what a real woman looks like. You like that style, don't you?" I thought. All right, typical guy talk. He's just loosening up. But something felt off. It wasn't casual. It was persistent. Like he was testing my reactions. Then it escalated. Out of nowhere, one day he asks, "Hey, between us, what really turns you on?" I laughed awkwardly, trying to dodge it. Haha, I don't know. The usual. But he didn't drop it. "And your fetishes? What do you like in bed? What really drives you crazy?" That's when an internal alarm went off. Because joking is one thing, but your boss interrogating you like he's filling out a form is another. Then it happened. One night I got a message from him. I expected a meme, a video, something stupid. I opened it, and it was a photo of his wife in fine lingerie. Not explicit in a graphic sense, but still intimate, provocative, clearly meant to provoke. It came with a message. "Bet you have no idea how much I like this." I froze. My first thought was, did he send this to the wrong chat? But then I realized something. There was no panic. No sorry. No attempt to take it back. Instead, there was intention. And one sentence echoed clearly in my head. No one sends something like this to a subordinate by accident. The next day, I was already paranoid. At the office, I kept looking at him, wondering if something showed on his face, as if I had a sign on my forehead that said, "I've seen what I shouldn't have." That afternoon, he texted me again, more directly. "Bro, I'm just going to be straight with you. My wife and I like to experiment. We have an open dynamic, and we like you. We trust you." That's when everything clicked. It wasn't a joke. It wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a drunk moment. It was an invitation. With a poisonous detail, it came from my boss. Then came the actual proposal, that the three of us go out one day. No pressure. That we'd talk about it calmly. That if not, nothing would happen. But when someone who has power over you says no pressure, it often means the opposite. That's when my mind split in two. The instinctive side said, "She's incredible. This feels like a fantasy. This doesn't happen to everyone." And yes, I'll admit it. The temptation was real, because it wasn't just attraction. It was the feeling that someone was opening a forbidden door. But the rational side was screaming, "Be careful. This could be a trap. This could end in jealousy. This could turn into blackmail. This could explode in HR. This could become a story where you're the villain." Because even if they want it, the risk falls on me. If he regrets it later, I can't quit the consequences. If she regrets it, who do you think they'll believe? If someone finds out, who do you think loses the most? And the worst question of all, what if this isn't an invitation, but a test? A twisted way to see how loyal I am, or how manipulable. That night, I stared at the chat like it was a bomb. I typed and deleted replies at least 10 times. Part of me wanted to answer casually, just to avoid awkwardness. Another part wanted to block him. Another part wanted to say yes without thinking. And that's when I realized something ugly. The problem wasn't the proposal anymore. The problem was that my relationship with my boss was already contaminated. Because even if I said no, I already knew he was capable of crossing that line. And even if I said yes, I knew my work life would be tied to a secret. In the end, I chose a path that hurt, but gave me peace. I replied calmly. No insults, no moral lectures, just a clear boundary. I appreciate the trust, but I prefer to keep everything on a professional level. I'm not comfortable mixing work with personal matters. No sermons. No, that's disgusting. No, how dare you? Just a boundary. And you know what was the most revealing part? His response wasn't surprise. It wasn't, sorry, I crossed a line. It was a very quick, okay, understood, as if he already had a plan B. Since then, I've kept my distance. Everything in writing when possible. No drinks, no outings, no late-night chats. Because I learned something important. Temptation lasts one night. But a boss with power can turn one night into a problem that lasts for years. So now I ask you, if your stability, your reputation, and your future depended on one decision, what would you do? Would you close that door? Or peek inside, even if the whole house could collapse?